Hey Dee, we did something new last week.
Yes, we went live on Substack.
Yes, we did. It was fun. We should do it again sometime.
Yes, but until we do, let's get going.
Welcome to the Garden Angelist, where we chat about flowers, veggies, and all the best dirt. I'm Carol Michael from Indianapolis, Indiana. I have a suburban garden measured in square feet. It's about a third of an acre.
And I'm Dee Nash from Guthrie, Oklahoma, where I have a large garden out in the country. It's about an acre.
Keeps going down every week, Dee.
Not every week, but it's about an acre.
We are Garden Angelists because we love gardening. We want you to love it too.
Yes, we do. And we aren't afraid to tell all of our gardening secrets, the good, the bad, and even the ugly. But let's move on to this week's episode. So, Carol, I think it's on. Okay. I couldn't tell if my microphone was on.
I think
Um,
it's on. I hear you.
so good. That's good news. Garden updates. What did you do this week?
I built this last week.
That's really cute. I
You know
actually
what?
like that one better than any of them so far.
The little
It's
typewriter
weird.
thing moves.
Oh my gosh, because we're
And
garden
you
writers.
can change out, there's like three different stickers for that thing. So anyway, it had flowers and it was at Costco. And so I thought, you know what? Why not?
Yeah, you're good at those. So, what else did you do besides build? For people who don't see us, we should say what it is. It is.
A little tiny Lego typewriter. It's not the big typewriter. It's for kids, but it's got little flowers coming out of it. And I thought, you know what? I really do need that.
Yeah, you do. It
So
fits.
yeah. Anyway, I ordered microgreen seeds and those have arrived because I'm doing a talk for my garden club next month on microgreens. So I needed some new
Uh-huh.
seeds. I actually ordered some bulbs for fall planting. I ordered a collection from Van Engelen. It's called the
Mhm.
Early Bloomers Bee Buffet, and it's got like crocuses, snowdrops, winter aconites, and I forget what else. There's like four different kinds of bulbs in there. So I thought that'll be fun. I'm going to plant that in the front. I ordered three new yellow clematis for front because the ones that I got from Menards, they just really didn't take off, which, they were like $5 a piece. So I got this really good variety from Proven Winners called Faniella clematis. It's really pretty. We'll put a link to it.
You.
Weeded, watered. I picked a few tomatoes. I picked my two pumpkins that I got out of the pumpkin
Sorry.
that Burpee sent me. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I sowed a bunch of seeds, radishes, all that. They're
Man.
just starting to come up. I got another estimate for the fence. Now, this has been 2 weeks. And I've been cleaning out my garage, finding all kinds of stuff like bags of worm castings that, we got at a trade show or something, and I never used them. Found some old
Hmm.
peat moss, dumped that on the compost pile. And when I say old, it's probably been in there in a bin for like 10 years. So, anyway, it's to the point where I wanted to get it so that I could bring in pelargoniums, and it is to that point now. So, looks much better.
Good. Wow. I forgot. It's been 2 weeks. We should say that
Right.
again
Well, and
to let
I
people
got
know.
rid of tripping hazards in the garage. Like to get to the freezer, there was something in the way, and to get to the irrigation controls, there was always something in the way, and stuff just kind of goes. You know how stuff gets in a garage.
Oh, yeah. You remember I cleaned out most of my garage and it
Yeah,
was
I
a
know.
hot mess. And I'm going to clean out more this fall, but not now because it's too hot, but it's not going to be hot soon. So,
How about
so you want to
you?
hear about me? Okay.
No, I don't. But go ahead.
Not
Just
really.
kidding. And
Okay.
no, I do want to hear.
So I thinned the radishes and turnips. They're little, about that
Yes,
tall.
right.
I thinned them and probably have to thin them again, but they're doing pretty good. And then let's see, I've been watering because it's warm and dry. And I thinned plants. I also harvested plants. The jalapeno peppers, I'm in love with those. I put them in eggs today. So you get that delicious kind of peppery taste without the heat. And yes, they taste different than bell peppers because bell peppers have a distinctive
Right,
taste instead of
right.
jalapenos.
Cool.
And then a few tomatoes, and Bill ate the last big tomato we had on his salad last night, and he said that was amazing. We didn't
Cool.
get very many tomatoes this year because it was really,
We did not either.
gosh, the weather was terrible for that. And then I've harvested some green beans, but they're done. I need to pull those. I haven't done that yet. What else? I need to pull some tomatoes, but I'm getting some little tomatoes,
Right.
little. about this size, so I'm not going to pull those yet.
Right, right. Same here.
Just watering, watering, watering. And then I started work last week
I
for the
know.
next 4 weeks. I think I got 3 or 4 more. And that was really fun. So I thought I'd tell people what I do when I get there each day. So it's at Front Door Flowers, which people have been asking me. It's on Waterloo Road. It is west of Broadway Extension for those who live local. So it's about 4.5 minutes from my house.
That's a quick trip.
Seriously, it's the perfect job for me. I get to play around with plants. It's about 4 to 6 minutes away. And, I get to be around women who are really fun. All right. So my first job each day when I go there, which is Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, is to water my side of the greenhouse. That's kind of how I usually work with Jennifer. And Jennifer and I, without even talking about it, we're kind of almost the same age. We just sort of set it up. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's got two sides and there's a bunch of plants and they all need water. And so I take my big jug of water and I put it on my hip and I start watering, and it takes a long time. It takes me about an hour to water that greenhouse.
Well, wait a minute. You put a jug of water on your hip so they don't have a spigot?
No, the jug of water is for me to drink
Oh, gotcha.
because
I'm
it
like,
was so hot out there this week.
oh,
Really need to water with you at all times. The first day I didn't drink enough. And so I actually put electrolytes in my water for
uh-huh.
up there, and I just carry that on my hip and I drink it when I want it, and then I keep on working. So no, there's a spigot in each corner of the greenhouse. So
Cool.
and they don't want hoses going across pathways. Trip hazard. Makes
Yes.
sense, right? So
Right.
then after I get that done, I go and ask my bosses whatever they want me to do. And last week I got to design containers, which are drop-ins for people who
Nice.
don't design their own containers. And that was fun. And then I come home and I get myself an iced tea on the way home. And then I come home and eat some lunch and play my video game.
Very
What's your
nice.
favorite this week?
My favorite this week are the colchicums have arrived. Those little, a lot of
Nice.
people call them autumn crocuses, but they're actually colchicums. And our friend Kathy from Cold Climate Gardening, in the past, she has sent me colchicums, and I think most of the ones that I have are probably ones that she sent me, and they're starting to multiply. And so they really just kind of popped up, and I'm like, oh, so pretty to see those blooming amongst the
I really
fallen
can't grow them
leaves.
here. Yeah,
No,
I
you
wish I
can't.
could.
They're
No,
so
it's too
pretty.
hot in the summer, but they're really pretty and they're fun to enjoy in other people's
Yes.
gardens. It just puts this layer of purple, and we'll put a picture in the newsletter,
Yeah,
right?
it's not, yeah, it's a spot of purple, I would say, versus a layer of purple. It's a spot of purple.
So for me, it's the agave zinnias, and I can see them right outside my window, and they are dinner plate size. If we're talking
Those are
like
big.
that, they're huge. And they're so full of joy. Like there's yellow ones and orange ones and peach ones, and they're so much fun. That mix and the Aurora mix just made my summer. But not they haven't worked that great for everyone because some people have written in and said they didn't do it for me. And I was like, you know what? That's why there are a million different kinds of everything.
Exactly.
How about our question of the week? You want me
So
to
I got
ask it?
this.
Oh,
Yeah.
you go ahead.
Well, I got the question from two different people, from the guy that built my house and then my little sister, kind of like on the same day, which I thought was kind of weird. But the question they had was, could they go ahead and dig up and divide some hostas now?
Can
So
they?
technically, yes, you can, and they probably did. The better time
Yep.
to dig and divide hostas is in the spring, just as they start to show new growth. But like many perennials, you can dig and divide them now. The secret is because the guy that built the house, he wanted to move them because he was going to plant a bunch of bulbs, which I can understand that. He said, should I give him some Miracle Grow? And I said, no, 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 no,
No.
no.
No, because you don't want any nitrogen. You want those to kind of start growing roots again. And roots
Exactly.
are not the N part of the NPK system.
Yes. And so that's why I said, no, we don't want to flush out a bunch of new growth. We want these things to just get solidly rooted before hard frost comes. And the same with my sister. They had a really old lilac and two Alberta spruces that are around this gazebo that was in the backyard. That
Yeah.
the gazebo is sitting where my dad used to have a pond. And the funny thing is, he had planted these two Alberta spruces and he wasn't sure where he's going to put them. So he left them in their plastic pots. and
Hmm.
then they just stayed there forever. And so she had them taken out, and I did wonder what happened to those clay pots because we're going back to like 1985 when he would have planted those.
Wow. Would
So
they disintegrate?
in 40 years, what's, I could just imagine like this plastic pot, and then below it is this huge root ball.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you can do it, but um,
But you got to make sure if I did it even here, which we've got an extra month on you guys, I would definitely make sure that they were really solidly in those holes so that you don't have air pockets. And I would mulch them well and water them well. So
yes,
is that good advice?
that is great advice because I told them like water, 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 water. You want to make sure those
Yeah.
things have a chance to get themselves established enough so that they don't die out in the winter. So
And
anyway,
then you also wrote that fall is a great time to divide and transplant peonies, by the way. Yes, it
yes, it
is.
is. Yes, it
That's
is.
why when you order peonies online, they ship them to you about now
Yeah.
to October here. And that's because they just do better if they get a chance to root over the winter time. And now that I think about that, part of that is that in the summer, it's really hard on things, and the winter is a good time until the temperature gets below 40. It's a really good time for roots to grow,
Right, right. People are
like
kind of
trees.
surprised how much root growth is going on, even after up top, it looks like nothing's happening.
I got asked a question about limelight hydrangeas this week. Same thing. And I said, yeah, you can plant them right now. And I said, just water them in really well. Limelight's tough. So just give them some good, mulch and water them in and they'll be okay.
Yeah, they'll be fine. All right. Insect of the week. You put this one on there, and I found a quote for it.
I like your quote. Okay. So the insect of the week, since we did Asian versus native last week with praying mantises, right? Wasn't it praying
2 weeks
mantises?
ago. Yes, that's
2 weeks
correct.
ago. This week it's Asian ladybug beetles versus American ladybugs. And so to your quote, because it's adorable.
How brave a ladybug must be, each drop of rain as big as she. Can you imagine what you'd do if raindrops fell as big as you? And that is by Eileen Fisher, who I know nothing about, but I thought, oh, we
That's
can't we
cute.
can't talk about ladybugs without doing a cute quote.
So we found this link, which is with Better Homes and Gardens. So we'll link to it in the show notes and also in the newsletter. I don't know why I'm having trouble thinking today, but I am. Anyway, ladybugs. So right about when this time of year, you start seeing from all the pest control companies about invasion of the Asian lady beetles and how it's a
Right.
nightmare for your house and yada, yada, yada. So, what do you think?
Well, I occasionally will see a lady beetle, which is the Asian,
Mhm.
but not enough that I think that I have been invaded. And I will occasionally also see ladybugs that slip inside, but they have not been a big problem for me. Maybe one of our listeners, they've had a big problem because I suppose, like any insect, there could be a swarm of them, but
I've not, I mean, occasionally I've seen a bunch of them come in and die, but I don't think it's something that needs to be sprayed. And you can
they're
tell the
definitely
difference between them because the Asian beetle is a little different colors. Its spots are aligned a little differently, but the biggest clue are the eyes. It has bigger eyes and they're white and you can see them. Ours do too, but they don't look the same. And the Asian beetle will bite you occasionally, but it doesn't hurt. Like I've been bit by one maybe 5 times over all my gardening years,
I've
and
never been bitten by one that
they
I know of.
well, like if you're taking down a big rose bush or
Sure.
something big and they're in there and they land on you and they're stressed, they might bite you. And that's how it's happened to me. But I haven't it doesn't even really hurt that bad. It feels like a slight pinch. And then the other thing is they smell sometimes if they
Yeah,
get
they
disturbed.
secrete a smell, especially if you smush them.
Yeah. So they're a little bit different in size. Anyway, there's more information in this Better Homes and Gardens article, which is quite
Right.
good.
Anyway, remember the ladybugs.
Yes, and we really like our ladybugs, but the Asian ones are pretty prolific. So
Yeah.
there you go.
All right, I'm going to do a quote, and we are going to head into the letter Y. Nature is painting for us day after day pictures of infinite beauty. John Ruskin. Ruskin. I don't know why I put an H in there.
It's okay. So flowers, Y is for, first of all, Yarrow, which one of my clients will be really glad to hear about this because she goes, you never talk about Yarrow. And
Wow.
she's right. I usually don't. And it's just because it's just there in my garden.
It is just there. And so we should say it's Achillea millefolium. And
The one we're discussing. Uh-huh.
yes, so the Latin word Achillea refers to Achilles, an ancient hero. And millefolium means coming of a thousand leaves, which is but very fine, feathery foliage on those things.
Which is kind of
So,
gray and really pretty, kind of a gray blue.
yeah, is a native. Shall we discuss as an herb or as a flower?
I think we should discuss it as both.
Okay. So Proven Winners has a bunch of varieties, and they have been coming out with new varieties these past few years. It's kind of considered a cottage style garden or plant flower because it's just like you said, it's just kind of there. It's just kind of
Yeah, I just
bloomy.
don't think about it. I mean, it goes from white to yellow, and now these new varieties tend to be in paprika shades, peach shades. There's even ones that are kind of a reddish purple, and people grow it for cut flowers too.
Oh
And
yeah,
I have some for cut flowers, and
they
they
last
all
a long
bloom
time as a
really,
cut flower.
they do, and they all bloom really early in the season. And then the yellow one blooms a little later for me. And then I have white in my upper pasture. And I don't think about it much. I just grow it.
No, and I will say this: the thing that you do want to think about if you're going to grow yarrow is where is your best draining full sun place? They like it on the
They like it
drier side.
hot.
They're drought
Mhm.
tolerant. They're also deer don't like to eat them.
Because they have silvery leaves. And we now know that silvery leaves mean little tiny hairs. And
Yes.
they also have kind of a perfumy foliage. And deer don't like either one of those. Yay.
No. No. And then as an herb, found a bunch of stuff in the Old Farmer's Almanac with a long list of things that yarrow is supposed to be helpful for. I think people sometimes
Yeah.
will dry the leaves for teas or make a tincture and stuff. And so we'll just leave the link for that and people can go read that for themselves because it is kind of interesting and
It's very interesting. I just
maybe
grow it as a flower.
as I've got the ends of my beds kind of positioned to be these like little areas of herbs, maybe I'm just going to get some of the plain old yarrow, not the colors, the plain old white flower and yarrow, creamy flower, and stick those with the thyme that's out there.
It'd be very pretty. And the deer won't eat it. Yay.
I don't get deer
Um,
in the backyard, Dee, or the front
I
yard.
know. I know, because you live in town. Lucky you. Yews as shrubs, as trees, etc., etc. And then you wrote, in the United States, we use yews as rather boring foundation shrubs. And then you said, let's quick skip over that quick. Instead, let's talk about yew trees in England. Whoa, wait a minute. I
Ooh.
love, I love my yews. And here's
I
why.
I think they're fine.
They grow really, really well in Oklahoma. And they are great for shade. And they are evergreen, which we don't have much evergreen in Oklahoma,
Yes. Now,
right?
yes. Now let me say
You're
something about
wait,
you.
okay, well,
You
I got
go-
more.
wait. Okay, go ahead.
Deer don't eat them.
Well, no, because they're
They're
poison. Well,
poisonous.
it's that
It's
inside of
okay.
that berry is poisonous.
Right. They don't like the foliage either. So,
No.
and I have upright ones and I have spreading types, and I just think they're great plants. Now you can say what you're going to say.
Well, I was going to say that if you grew up in the 70s and I guess into the 80s or the 60s, all those ranch style homes, basically a row of views, like a little, mustache under the picture window or whatever.
Oh, here, that was an Andinas, but yes, I can see what you're saying.
They're just people
Yeah.
plant them as foundation plants and they trim them and, they're green. I'd say they plant way more yews than they do boxwoods. And so,
Here they plant more boxwoods than yews, unless it's shady. In the shade, they plant more yews, but sometimes they plant boxwoods there too. So, here's the thing. In England, they really are something because all of
they
those big
are.
hedging plants are yews. And when you get up close to them in England, you're like, wow, they grow those big here. We can't grow them like that
Yes.
here.
Yes. And so that's where I said, let's talk about them as trees because in England, they're really
Huge
large,
trees.
old trees. And I'm going to link us to a site called the Woodland Trust,
Okay.
where they talk about some of the oldest, most interesting yews that they have. And they said, a yew tree standing peaceful watch over a cemetery or churchyard is a common sight. In fact, the vast majority of the UK's oldest yew trees can be found in churchyards, with over 500 churchyards in England containing yew trees older than the buildings themselves. And then they went on to explain that the Druids planted
Hmm.
the yew because they planted them in their sacred sites, and that's where then they would come in and they would establish churches in those areas. And so,
Yews are very, very popular at churchyards and the gravestones, and they're even popular here at a few of the older graveyards. But they're also popular at those big estates because they make them
mhm,
as hedges.
yes,
So
much bigger hedges than we would envision to plant yews
yeah,
here.
30 feet tall, which is
Yes.
amazing.
Because he
Yeah.
said that the other reason why they find them often around cemeteries is because they're associated with immortality and the cycle of life and death, and that even though like the inside of a yew might be eaten out by fungus or whatever, it's constantly regenerating and regrowing. So that's why they live to be literally thousands of years old.
Right. They do
But
really, really well.
and then they
Hmm.
said it's hard to date them by the tree rings because
Hmm.
the insides have been hollowed out by fungal diseases and things. What you looking at, Dee?
It's raining on my lake, just over the lake right now, on my pond. I have a pond, for those who don't know, I have a very large pond in the back of my house. And all of a sudden, a little pop up storm must have come up because it's raining really hard on the pond and I can see it. And I was like, what? Because the other part of the sky is not as, you
Hmm.
know, weird.
And we
It's
did
it's
mention
weird to get rain this right now, but okay.
we did mention that yews are poisonous.
Yeah, we
Um,
did.
and so that kept grazing animals from eating them. So that's another reason to plant them around churchyards. And then also the wood was used for making bows, as in bow and arrow. So
Interesting. The way
yes,
the bodark tree was made for fencing and bows here in Oklahoma. So that's
yes,
cool.
yes. And
Want
it
me to
is a
do the
native
next?
plant in the UK, but not here. Most of ours come from Asia.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah. Looks
Taxus
like,
is the genus.
yes. And then Hicks U is one of the vertical ones. So,
Yes. Yeah, that's one big
okay.
tip. If you are going to plant a yew for foundation planting, which it has its place, I will admit, make sure you know whether you're buying one that has a generally upright form or one that is a spreading form because it'll make a big difference.
Yeah, because I have both. And the spreading forms, they only get 3 feet tall, 2 feet tall, and then they spread really far.
I don't have any
I think
yews
they're really pretty. They're in my front garden. I like them a lot. So you want me to do the next quote?
unless you can come up with something else for the letter Y in the flowers. No, go ahead for the
I'm
vegetables.
good. I'm good. I think we can move on because we've got some interesting veggies.
Okay.
Okay. Be soft. Do not let the world make you hard. Do not let the pain make you hate. Do not let the bitterness steal your sweetness. Take pride that even though the rest of the world may disagree, you still believe it to be a beautiful place. And that's from Ian Thomas. I wrote this for you. I thought it was beautiful.
It is beautiful. And that's from we made these notes 2 weeks ago, by the way.
How odd that it came up this way. But
It
that's what
does.
happens
Vegetables.
sometimes.
Yams.
Y is for yams because yams are not really sweet potatoes.
They are not.
People
And you
get
are not
confused.
growing them in your garden. It's a tropical fruit or
Right,
root.
right. The ones you're growing in your garden, if you do grow them, are sweet potatoes,
Right.
which the sweet potato vine that is decorative in our pots, especially in the South or in our garden beds, like Marguerite, was a mistake. It was a bad sweet potato plant that somebody said, let's make this an ornamental. And it became an ornamental. But if you grow really good varieties like Beauregard, you can you'll have tons of sweet potatoes. They're not hard to
Right.
grow.
But
In
we're
a
not
raised
talking about
bed.
sweet potatoes because that's the
Oh,
letter S.
sorry. I was all about sweet potatoes, but we're really talking about yams. Well,
And I
we
don't
don't
really
grow
know,
those.
but no, I don't even know
No,
that you could buy a yam, a true yam.
I don't think so. So let's move on to yellow tomatoes.
The reason to grow yellow tomatoes is they are less acidic.
Yes, and some of the yellow tomatoes that are cherry tomatoes are really, really good.
Yes, I had some on my
The
lunch
gold
today.
ones, what's the famous one that's gold?
Sun gold.
Sun gold. There's sun gold, sun sugar, and I really like snow white, which is a white
I
yellow.
I've never done that.
So
Now,
good.
there's also yellow pear. I'm not a big fan of yellow pear.
It's too mushy.
Now, when I was a kid growing up, the yellow tomatoes, we called those German tomatoes.
That's interesting. We didn't.
We called them German tomatoes, and I do not know why.
Maybe some variety that your family grew came from Germany, like German green, but it was a yellow
I,
one.
I don't know.
Who
I don't
knows?
know. But anyway, let's move on to the next vegetable we had on the list, which is yard long beans.
So my girlfriend, who I've known since high school, Jenny Brooks, she has grown yard-long beans more than one season and gets a huge crop of them. I've only grown them once. Have you grown them?
I have not, but I've when you say grown them more than one season, she hasn't like overwintered them.
No, you can't overwinter them. They're
No.
tropical, but
Right.
she grows them more than 1 year. I mean, she liked them so much she grew them again. I grew them once. I didn't think they were not my thing. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I have heard, and we'll link to Johnny's Selected Seeds. They had several. One called Red Noodle, which was a reddish bean.
Hmm.
But the one that, and I remember seeing this at the state fair several years ago, there's a variety called Vortex, which gets
Yep.
about a foot long. And I think our friend Matt Mattis posted on Instagram, he was harvesting the Vortex beans. Maybe we'll find that and link to it. But I thought that's one that I'd be tempted. But again, it's a pole bean. So you're going to have to
It's a
give it
pole
some,
bean and it takes a very long season.
yeah, it needs support.
Yeah, big support.
Yeah, he was
Anyway,
harvesting them
I don't know
just a
which
few weeks
variety
ago.
she's, oh, really? Okay. I don't know which variety Jenny has grown, but she grows them and she loves them.
Well, maybe I'll try them next year. I have a trellis thing out there that I grew some scarlet runner beans, but they didn't do great. So maybe I'll try some Vortex pole beans on that trellis next year.
I'm not going to, but you go ahead.
Well, you know what? You've challenged me, Dee, and I think I will.
Your middle child is coming out.
The
All
middle
right, so
child,
the
like,
day
Nina,
middle child says, I will definitely do it. I think you should. You might like them. They were kind of a weird texture for me. All right, yerba mate. You put this one on here. You talk about it. You pronounce that word.
So the yerba mate, the genus and species is Ilex paraguariensis. Paraguariensis. Ilex paraguariensis. It is in the holly. It is a
I was
holly.
going to say ilex or hollies.
Yes. So this is it's actually hardy in zones 9 to 10, and for us it would be a houseplant,
Yeah,
and you could make tea out of the dried leaves, caffeine infused
right.
thick dark leaves. So you're going to get a houseplant of yerba mate?
No, no.
What?
You can buy yerba mate at the store, already dried for you, organic. Why would I do that? I've got enough houseplants. Have
Yeah,
you?
but one never can tell what might strike my fancy. So I'm not going to say I am, and I'm not going to say that I'm not. I'm just going to
I'm
say
not
it.
too good at evergreens anyway. So why would I bring one in my house? That would probably be a disaster.
I I will, if I happen to see a plant, I might be tempted.
Okay, cool. Anything
So
else you want to say about yerba mate?
no, other than, I might
It's
just
fun to say.
yerba mate.
It's fun to say.
I'm going to
All
do a
right.
quote.
Yeah, do it.
That old September feeling left over from school days of summer passing, vacation nearly done, obligations gathering, books and football in the air. Another fall, another turn page. There was something of jubilee in that annual autumnal beginning, as if last year's mistakes had been wiped clean by summer. And that is Wallace Stegner in Angle of Repose. Very
I
interesting.
love that quote. It's awesome. It does remind me of back to school. And so
Yeah.
you and I on our book this week on the bookshelf are
Uh,
definitely going to school. Aren't yard-long beads an Asian thing?
they surely must be.
I think they are. Anyway, the name of the book, it's by Connie Chow, and it's Your Asian Veggie Patch, a guide to growing and cooking delicious Asian vegetables, herbs, and fruits. And I just might give this to my lady from Thailand who works at the sushi place because she grows a lot of vegetables. I have one that grows tropical houseplants and is
Yes.
really good at it. And she grows a lot of succulents, really interesting succulents. She goes to Home Depot and peruses everything. And so together they grow totally different things, but I think they would really enjoy this book. I've
It
enjoyed
is
it.
it is a good book. And so yes, Dee, that she calls it just long bean, not yard
Long
long
bean.
bean.
I
Long bean.
figured it. Yeah.
But she's got it in there and information on varieties and how to grow it. And here's the good thing about this book, Dee.
Huh.
Recipes.
Yeah, oh, well, then I might keep it because I would like to make mapo tofu.
Yeah, they've got all kinds. She's got recipes for stuff. So, you know how we said like, oh, we don't like Malabar spinach or
Yeah.
thing. I
Maybe
think
we're just not cooking it right.
exactly. And so that's where I'm like, wow, you know,
Oh, look, she's doing on page 152. It's kabocha pumpkins, which are actually squash. All pumpkins are squash. We're actually selling these fairy pumpkins at the front door flowers. But she makes these Chinese pumpkin cakes out of them that have sesame seeds on top. Yum.
yeah, I would not be giving this book away quite yet, Dee. There's quite a lot in
No,
here.
perhaps not. I just thought they would enjoy it. Maybe I'll just buy it for her.
That would be better. This actually comes out on October the 8th, and we were pleased to get review copies. It's from Murdoch Books, which I think is an imprint of Porto.
It
And
is.
so she lives down in, did you mention
She
she
lives
lives
in
in
Australia.
Australia?
I did not mention it yet, and she's talking about sweet potato and eating the leaves. That's very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool book, and I
It's a
love
very
that
cool
she's
book.
very practical about it all. And
Yes.
down where she lives, of course, her summer is our winter, and vice versa. But she has these beautiful little raised beds, and those plants are taller than she is.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
It is a very cool
Okay,
book.
no,
This,
I'm keeping it.
I knew you had, I'm like, Dia's not paying attention here. She said she wasn't thinking straight today. And I'm like, you are not thinking straight today, Dee. This is a keeper. This is Asian Veggie
Mhm.
Patch by Connie Chow.
I
And
am definitely going to buy this for my two ladies
there you go. They would love
as a
it.
nice gift. One gave me something for my birthday. She gave me a plant.
Nice.
She bought me a crown of thorns plant for my
Did you get
birthday.
anything else for your birthday?
Yes, Carol, you sent me this beautiful antique book on the monarchs. It's a children's book, and
From the
it's the
60s. It would
monarchs.
have been when you would have been a child.
It would have been when I was a child, a little child. And it's about the monarch's flight, the journey to Mexico. And then you also gave me that wonderful lady and you bought me her corvid note pack. And I love the corvids, which are crows, ravens.
Yes.
It's
And
beautiful. Her stuff is beautiful.
it is beautiful. And I'm sitting here looking at my desk because when I ordered those, I'm like, well, this is coming all the way from England. I'm going to have to order myself a set too. And I'm like, where'd I put them?
I don't know. Did
I
you
didn't
order
order the ones with all the
what
crows on it.
what did you order?
Well, I ordered, I think it's got like, oh, hang on a second. Here it is. Hang on.
It was a good birthday present for me.
But anyway, this is Fox in the Forest, and we've talked about her. I bought
Yeah,
ones with
she's
these
great.
sweet little birds on them. Look at
Oh, they're
these
so
little
pretty.
cards.
The English birds are so cute.
She takes old receipts, old envelopes, old
Nuthatch.
invoices, old letters and stuff, and she draws these on them, and then
And she
she
paints them. Their robins are like way smaller than the American robin and
yes. So
really
anyway, they
adorable.
are
And
cute
the
as can be.
nuthatch, those are cute.
Yeah,
Our birds are like big and loud compared to the birds.
yeah.
And I don't know why. I don't know
Here's the
why they're,
British robin.
I know, any cute?
Yeah,
So cute.
the artist is Vicky Elder is her name. So anyway,
It
I
was a
sent
good
off for
present.
those and they arrived from England. Nice.
Fun.
It was
Are you
fun.
ready to do the dirt?
I'm ready for the dirt. You have to do the quote first.
I'm going to. Outside, the leaves on the trees constricted slightly. They were the deep, dun green of the beginning of autumn. It was a Sunday in September. There could only be four. The clouds were high, and the swallows would be here for another month or so before they left for the south, before they returned again next summer. And that's from Ollie Smith, or Allie, The Whole Story and Other Stories. I loved this quote, and I chose it because of the deep dun green of the
Yes.
leaves, because that's true. I'm looking at my trees outside, and they are the deep dun green. They aren't yellow yet, orange.
Yes. So I want to skip the first thing we had for dirt. We're going to move that closer to Halloween.
Okay, good. So you want to give us an update on Clover, the sunflower?
Well, Clover the sunflower up there in Fort Wayne, she literally smashed the world record for tallest sunflower. The
Yeah,
previous
she
record
did.
was 31 feet and a few inches, and Clover is 35 feet tall. So she's been all over the media and getting a
She
lot of
has.
attention.
People
That
love that
is,
stuff.
yes. And it's a guy up in Fort Wayne, and I think he was originally from Ukraine. He's immigrated to the United States, and he's been trying
Hmm.
to beat this record for years. Lest somebody think that you just plop a sunflower seed in the ground and wait to see if it grows to be big. It
No,
it's
it's
like
like the
those.
tomato or the pumpkins.
Uh-huh.
Just
Yeah.
pick your hard thing. I mean, I don't even think
Pick your
sunflowers are
world
super easy
record.
to grow. But yeah, just pick your record. And he had to protect it from insects.
Yeah, it's got
There's a
scaffolding
lot.
all around it, and so
Yeah,
I mean
but he did the world record.
they had to bring in a big lift truck kind of thing so the Guinness people could do an official measurement.
That's pretty cool.
So anyway, that is Clover the sunflower, and that is our dirt. And we have something. The other thing is going to be pushed to Halloween.
It'll be funny. Okay, so you want to do the next quote?
September days have the warmth of summer in their briefer hours, but in their lengthening evenings, a prophetic breath of autumn. Roland E. Robinson. That is true. It
Do
gets
you love my
faster.
do you love my September quotes?
You did a fabulous job with September
Thank you.
quotes.
Thank you. All right, rabbit holes. I don't have one. I've been way too busy. I mean, I forgot what working takes out of your day because you have to get ready for to go to work and there's just stuff to do. I'm really busy. I'm going to be busy for 4 weeks. All right, what about you? Oh, look, you have a big one. I'm ready. Here I am.
It's not
Ready.
really a big one. We had talked about Helen Morgenthau Fox, and then I was really bugged because the only picture of her that was really on the internet was this like group of four or
It was a
five
group
women.
picture. Hmm.
It was like a group picture, and I'm like, where's Helen? And so I ordered her
Which one
book,
is she?
My Adventure in Gardening, which she wrote, I think, in 1965, towards the end of her life. And it really filled in the gaps of history as far as how she got into gardening and some of the things that she did. Had some really nice pictures. So this is the first time I've really gone in, other than to correct a mistake, and said, hey, I have more information about Helen. And I updated that Substack post.
That's cool.
So, but she said when she was 13, 14 years old, now she's from a wealthy family. Her
Yeah.
parents, her father was a ambassador to Turkey, but they spent a summer in Switzerland. And she used to go out to this little island in a stream or whatever. And she said she just had this vision that her life was going to be involved with plants.
Hmm.
And so and so it was. She wrote tons of books about plants, and she's had several gardens, and it was really kind of interesting to read in her own words, filled in some of the blanks. And then yesterday, I think it was, I got a email or comment from somebody. I'd written about a woman named Helen K. Krause, and she's the one that had shell art flowers where she took.
Yes.
Anyway, the great granddaughter commented and said, who she was and that they still had some of her shell art flowers. So I thought that was fun. And when a relative of one of these people comments, and I get it every once in a while, I always say, if I've made an error in facts, could you please let me know? And so far, I've done all right. So
Yeah.
So I'm just,
I've
my,
I've
go ahead.
seen those shell pictures were really popular in the Victorian era,
Well,
along with hair
yes.
pictures.
But what Helen
Thank
did,
God that I
she
like
made flowers
shells.
out of them.
I like physical flowers,
Yeah, I
like
think she made them
outside
into
pictures.
arrangements,
Huh. Cool.
not just the pictures, not just like gluing them onto a board. She would make actual like
Flowers.
flowers.
Gotcha.
So anyway, and then I'm on to Louise Mansfield. I just got her book. It's very
But you
pretty.
didn't listen to what I said.
What'd you say, Dee?
I was saying I like the ones that are made with shells, including the flowers, better than the hair pictures. The ones that were
Oh,
made of hair.
those are
Those were
disgusting.
weird and yucky. Okay.
Yes, I think that's weird. Why don't you just clip some toenails and fingernails and use those to make art? Just forget it. That's
Don't
horrible.
ask. They might. You never know. All right.
Oh, I'm not going to look that
Garden.
up to see if they do.
No, please don't, unless you're going to use it in Halloween.
No.
All right. So, and we'd have to relate it to gardening. So, garden commissions. I am working in the garden tomorrow, assuming it quits raining. I'm like, why is it raining again? It's
Because
so
it's
weird.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, we don't get this much rain usually. I
We
mean,
need rain.
it does usually rain the weekend of the fair, and the fair did start, so that is normal.
There you
But
go.
I'm working in the garden tomorrow. I am going to remove, this is sad, everybody go, oh,
Oh,
Carefree Beauty, which is the rose that's on my fence as you walk into the back garden on either side. The original Carefree Beauty has rose rosette disease. I kind of thought it did at the beginning of the season, but I kept looking at it thinking, do you have rose rosette or do you not? And rose rosette, it seems to me, it's just for those who don't know, it's a virus that's spread by an endoscopic mite. And I had it in my garden really bad in 2000, from 2007 through 2009. I lost 80 roses. And, but Carefree Beauty made it through unscathed, but it tends to attack older roses.
ah,
Right? I mean, yeah, I know it attacks young ones too, but it really seems to go after the older ones. And Carefree Beauty was still in my garden, and now it is going to not be. And I'm going to dig it up tomorrow. And then I'm going to decide if I'm going to dig up the one that's on the other side because they were symmetry. And I'm thinking about putting a small hydrangea in there. If anybody wants to read about this journey, it's in my latest Substack.
very good.
And then in a week or so, I need to go and start taking cuttings. What about you, Carol?
So I need to do some more cleanup in the vegetable garden. I can remove the pumpkin vine because I've taken off the two pumpkins that it produced. And then I'm going to clean up the tomato plants because they look terrible and just leave those that are actually producing fruit, pull out all the dead stuff. It's time to do that. I also need to mow at some point, but the grass is growing so slow. I mean, I didn't mow at all this past week, Dee.
Really?
Not since last Sunday. And I was thinking about tomorrow and I'm like, it doesn't really need it. So I'll probably wait till Tuesday or Wednesday. So the garage is cleaned up. I got a couple of things going to haul to the Goodwill to see if they will take them. I don't know if they will, but we'll see. If not, then I'll have to dispose of them another way. But
Yep.
yeah. And then weeding and just kind of puttering around the garden.
Mm-hmm. Just doing the little stuff that needs to be done before fall, which is
Exactly.
coming. So, do you want to do the We Do Not Care? It's a good one.
We do not care if plants flop over in the fall. They are tired and done. We are too.
Boy, that's the truth. All right, let's wrap this up.
Thank you for listening to the Garden Angelist. We hope hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode. We publish every week on Wednesdays at 12 a.m. Eastern Time.
But if you subscribe to our free newsletter, you get a link to listen to the podcast a whole day early and links to all the products we discuss and all of the articles we discuss. Some of our products are affiliate links, like the Cobra Head Weeder. Plus, if you go over to YouTube now, you can see us in person. Those full episodes show up on Tuesdays. So if you just can't get enough of us and don't want to wait till Wednesday, you have two opportunities to see us on Tuesday.
Exactly. And if you want to help support us, use our affiliate links. If you buy something after clicking through on them, we earn a small commission and it costs you nothing.
Or you can set up a monthly subscription through Buzzsprout, or you can make a one-time donation through PayPal, or you can also sign up for a subscription through, well, I don't know, a gift, I think, on Substack, right?
You can pledge now.
You can now pledge. I couldn't think of the right word.
Thank you to everyone who has done so. It helps us pay for podcast hosting.
It was lovely to chat with all of you over the Garden Gate. Bye until next week.
Bye, everybody.